The unlucky player is Shunsuke Nakamura, who remains on the bench after the success of the combination of Petrov, Lennon and Keane in midfield last week against Rangers.
Into the customary 4-4-2 sit-up. Telfer, Wilson playing out of position but came in last week and did an excellent job. Petrov back out onto the right with the inclusion of Keane, Zurawski and Hartson, goal machines up front.
So the benches too tell a bit of a story. A lot of power and ability on that Celtic bench for Dunfermline. They're depending on Simon Donnelly and Bartosz Taraszulski perhaps to come on later to have some striking impact. And they see Frederick Dakin there, former Hibs player, also could make his debut. So these Dunfermline fans coming here more in hope, I think, than expectation, bearing in mind the league record here for Dunfermline, which has been very poor indeed. In fact, it is the worst record of any side at home in the SPL, and that really is a major concern, I've no doubt. They've only won one of their 13 home league games, and they've lost 9 of these. That really is very poor home form, Mark.
It is. I think when you know you're going to be battling against the odds all season, you need to get some sort of form at home. We've seen, with the Falkirk situation, with their poor run at home, and it does get you down the bottom of the table. That's why it's important when you know you're going to be hard at it all season, grinding points out here and there, that your home form has to be better.
Well, the big consolation for neutrals watching here is that 0-0 draws are too common between these two clubs. The last 0-0 draw was here at East End Park in August 2003, but in 94 league meetings there only have been 2 no-score draws. Let's hope I'm not tempting fate this afternoon.
I think there'll be goals today. I think you look at that Celtic side, lots of goals throughout. Zurawski, Hartson, Maloney, Petrov, all full of goals. Stephen Simmons coming in from Hearts.
Well, the other thing that's good though is that Dunfermline have scored in each of the last 10 matches, despite being near the foot of the league.
Absolutely, and I think that's a great credit to them. It's just at the other end where they have to keep clean sheets. You can't grind 1-0 out. That's what gets you up the table. But as you say, the scoring goals regular, and hopefully Jim Leishman will get one today.
So Neil Lennon leads out Celtic lineup in a change all green strip. It's a very new setup at Dunfermline. In fact, it's very much for the better, because it was well established, I think, Mark, that the worst away dressing room in the league was East End Park's old away dressing room.
Absolutely, not too far wrong there, Jock. But it's a nice new setup here under the new development. Nice big changing rooms and very fresh.
So no sign of the family yet as the Celtic players continue their stretching and warm-ups. Paul Telfer been through it all so many times before, now 34 years old, in fact the same age as Lennon and Keane, who will play in midfield. So here come the Dunfermline players in their normal home strip, all set for the action. This will be the teams. These were the teams in the Cup final, ECIS Cup final next month. That is long forgotten for the moment, as referee Dougie McDonald leads out the two sides. Mascots there, George Portwood from Cooper and Ryan Turner from Dunfermline. The stadium not quite back to capacity, I think it's fair to say, but still a very healthy reception for both sides. Scott Wilson, the former Rangers player, has been given the captain's armband in the absence of Scott Thompson, which is a major blow, I would suspect, to Dunfermline. His presence very important in the side. Well, Andy Campbell made his debut for Middlesbrough under Brian Robson at the age of 16, then won 4 on the 21 caps before moving to Cardiff City for $950,000 in 2002. Now 26, he left Cardiff when Stevie Thompson joined that club from Rangers in the transfer window.
Good acquisition made by this young man, Artur Buric, in the headlines today. 12 clean sheets in 30 games, only one in the last 12 though. He'll hoping that he can keep that clean sheet today. Take some of his teammates back for the comments said. Tongue-in-cheek must be said, I would have thought.
Well, tongue-in-cheek perhaps, but I can't help imagining that 1 or 2 words were offered by some of the teammates involved, and Gordon Strachan looking very relaxed indeed, as well he might, with his 10-point lead at the top of the SPL, which could become 13. Dougie McDonald is in charge, 25 games this season, 6 red cards and 82 yellows. So lots of people working that. Jim Leishman, the brilliant manager of Dunfermline, will be out here. He'll have filled his team with as much confidence as possible for this event. So we're all set to get underway. A very good afternoon for football. John Hartson and Andy Campbell shaking hands down below us there. They'll have played each other in the past. And Celtic start the game. The first touch for Paul Telfer. Zamonardi in the left back position with a header clear. Simmons forcing it forward. This is Maloney. Well, interesting to see the tactics here, because Celtic, while they played Petrov allegedly wide on the right last week, he really tucked in to make a tight three-man central midfield, Maloney on the left, and I think Dunfermline may try to match that this afternoon.
Yeah, I think Dunfermline were trying to pretty tight through that middle of the park in the central area. Play the players pretty close together, try and push Celtic down into the wider areas of the pitch. And Petrov very clever last week. Ball's on the far side, he will go over, will get himself into the midfield area, into the central midfield area and take part. And when the ball's being created over this side, he'll take up his right-hand side position.
Well, at the start of the match, Craig Wilson's opened up on the wide left for Dunfermline, with Darren Young on the right. Although I'm sure he'll play in a narrow midfield with Simmons and Mason in that area. Here's Bobo Baldi's first contribution to the fray. Interception made by Mason, a good one, and Birchall is flagged offside. That must have been very close indeed. Yeah,
just coming back from an offside position there. Mark Birchall. A sloppy ball out from the back there from Bobo Baldi.
Former Celtic player Birchall, played with some great distinctions, a very young player. Didn't quite train on at that time. His 10th club he's with right now.
Not offside. Linesman got that one wrong. Telfer playing him on.
Zamonardi is scoring that back to Bryn Halliwell, who's referred to Alan McGregor, who has been suffering from a hip injury in the last week or two. On loan keeper from Rangers. The Halliwell's clearance holding up in the breeze there, laid back by Campbell to Young. Birchall couldn't collect that, so Mark Wilson continuing at left back for the third consecutive match for Celtic. Can't imagine that's where he expected to play when he joined the club. That's Keane. Hartson trying to find Petrov. Petrov has recovered well to get to that. Here's Zurawski. Problems for the defence sorted out by Zamonardi. This is Wilson going outside McCunny. And that's the opening goal by Petrov. Deadly play by Celtic, and Petrov at his best.
Super play from Wilson as well there. Mark Wilson getting himself well forward. Good piece of skill here, driving into the box with that man Petrov. You could see in the build-up, he was well central in that central midfield area where we said he would do when it was being created over there, and just continued to follow the play. There you go, right at the near post, across the defender. And Halliwell absolutely no chance stopping that. And that's Petrov keeping his scoring record up against Dunfermline.
Well, his 9th goal against Dunfermline in his 24th match and the 9th of the season. I wonder if Jim Leishman may have some harsh words for Gary Mason, because he seemed to be the marker for Petrov until the ball was played to the near post area. He hadn't matched that run. You'll see him just a little bit remote, Mason, as the ball is delivered.
There's one thing you cannot do, Jot. You cannot let Stan Petrov go on a run. You must track him back all the time, because if you don't, he does that to you.
This is Zamonardi. Birchall getting up well, but doing a little bit of climbing and leaning on Mark Wilson. So the free kick's given. Superb play by Petrov, this. Just look at Mason here in this move.
Just failed to track him back there.
He's the marker, all right. He's lost them now, I think.
Yeah, just ball watching. Ball watching, didn't follow him across. And two defenders doing absolutely nothing there, just staring at the ball.
So the header cleared by Andy Todd. Interesting too that it occurred to me when Mark Wilson And up to Jamie McCunney, they were former teammates at Dundee United, so they would know each other very well, and Wilson would, I think, realise he could take him for pace. Good contribution by Mark Wilson at the start of his Celtic career. This is Lennon. Telford has space. Keane supporting, going outside him. Terrible pass by Telford, giving Keane no chance at all. McManus with a controlled header for Balde. Wilson again, seeing plenty of the ball. Well, that must have been a savage blow to Jim Leishman's pre-match plans to lose a goal as early as that.
Absolutely. He's looking to play when you're playing against the big teams. 20 minutes, keeping it tight for 20 minutes, no chances. Trying to get instructions on. You just look at the smartness. I think you look at the Celtic set up in the midfield area. Keane just coming out to the right-hand side here. Petrov's gone over one now.
Gary Pedro got striking, having serious words there with the fourth official, who is Chris Boyle. Can't think what that's all about at this stage in the game. Lennon's pass, that's Hartson aimlessly across, straight to Craig Wilson. Now Simmons and Wilson. Young to Burchill. It's for Simmons. Headed down by Mason. He's sitting clear in midfield, but not having a chance to go forward. Burchill trying the return pass. Roy Keane under pressure there from Burchill. A heavy challenge in the back, penalised. Frustration there demonstrated by Burchill. We're thinking all about one of them about this. More about the reaction to this foul. It was a clear push on Keane.
Just a wee push to Keane's back, but the intelligence you're talking about there.
Well, there's the dispute there about the ball being put back in. Well, Gary Pender's using that finger pointing. I don't think that'll get down too well with the authorities. Header there by Wilson. Hartson nodding that towards Zurawski, but arm up there in the challenge. Free kick to Dunfermline.
We're just talking about that Celtic midfield there before we got sidetracked about the intelligence in there. Petrov doesn't mind wandering over into the central area. Somebody will come out here. Keane's just been out here. Lennon's been out here. Very fluid in that area. That's what you say. As long as you've got the ball. Doesn't matter where you're playing, really. Everybody can play that position.
Well, slicing that high in the air is well won by Zambonardi. Strong play by Simmons, but equally strong response from Petrov. Dunfermline trying to regroup here. They realise, of course, now that well, that was a major body blow, that opening goal. They can't afford to lose another.
No, got to stay tight. We'll try and create something up the Celtic end now. Need to start and work Arthur Bullich. A chance here to throw the ball into the box, get the big guns up.
McCunney fighting it in. Challenge was made well by Simmons, but he was a long way out to do any damage there.
Yeah, 18 yards. Certainly some header to go in from there.
Well, former Hearts player, looked a very promising player. Lost a lot of time through injury, though, over a year lost to a bad injury. But his progress. Nothing intriguing about the Jim Leishman situation. Now, Jim Leishman is known to be a real comic and a psychologist, but technically, my understanding is he's very astute indeed, and he does like to tinker with his team. I wonder if going from 3-5-2 one week to 4-4-2 the next, how difficult that is, Mark.
Well, I think he'll keep it going the way it's going at the moment, but obviously if they don't start and create something in an offensive aspect, then I don't think he'll be afraid to tinker about, maybe even go back to the three at the back.
Well, looseness there in midfield from the Dunfermline, allowing Lennon to tidy up. That's Simmons coming back to halt the progress of Maloney. Flick on there from Campbell, looking for Burchill. Well, it's quite clear that with Campbell and Burchill, both extremely mobile players, that you would imagine the player would want to play the ball beyond that Celtic back four and
into space.
Running into space.
Yeah, into space up the side of the defenders, the sides between the centre halves and the full-back positions. Both pretty fleet of foot.
Tidy play again from Lennon in midfield. This is Telfer. Petrov. Lennon again. Keane shows himself inside. Maloney, they're looking for breaking Mark Wilson, and Andy Campbell did a good job matching the run. The other thing about Roy Keane that strikes me too, Mark, is he tends to do simple things quickly and efficiently.
Absolutely.
Keep possession for his team.
That's it, which makes him a good player. Doesn't tend to give the ball away too often, and then builds from there.
Here's Darren Young. Jamie McCunney. That's a good pass from Young. Miscue there by Campbell, trying to play the ball to Zambonardi. Zambonardi will have to defend here. Telfer with an early ball for Zurawski. Well, the Dunfermline supporters hoping for an offside flag, which did not come up.
A little debate going on at the back here. Todd and Wilson. That's a put ball.
Certainly not offside though.
No, it's certainly not offside, but Zurawski is better than that. But debate between the captain Wilson and Todd, whether they were playing offside, pushing up or dropping.
One of the difficulties of constantly changing the setup, especially defensively. Develop that essential understanding. That's Telfer playing it long. Zambonardi will collect. And now Wilson. That's good play by Petrov. So energetic in that midfield area. And down he goes, Wilson's tackle. A very good attempt by Hartson. Now, was that a penalty kick? Looked to me as though he was fouled.
Yeah, it's a penalty for me. Did great to win the ball initially. Very brave, put his head in there.
Well, that's a penalty.
And that is a stone wall penalty for me. Comprehensively beats Scott Wilson there.
Look how close Dickie McDonald was to that too. He had a great
right
view.
on top of it, yeah. And that man again, Petrov, falling in the side for the Dunfermline defence.
Well, I wonder really how important that could turn out to be. I mean, okay, it wasn't a blatant one. It was perhaps of the soft variety, but it was a foul inside the box. There's no doubt about that, surely.
Does great to win the ball there. Very brave, feet flying, commits Wilson to the tackle and completely just takes his legs away. John Hartson there, audacious little chip.
Well, Dean McDonald is on view, and that's the one that matters. Corner kick to Dunfermline. So an opportunity now for Scott Wilson and Andy Todd to add their presence aerially to the Dunfermline attack. Craig Wilson will take this. Missed by Boric. Turned in by Campbell. A magnificent header by Andy Todd. And a disaster for Arthur Boric.
Yeah, Boric's come out there, absolutely nowhere near the ball. All I can say is they must have been lost the flight with the wind. A wind blowing down in that corner. Just come out there, completely missed it. This is a great header back as well, Andy Todd. We've seen him do that many times for Dunfermline. Very good in the air. A super little ball back from it was Campbell. Just Andy Campbell here, just standing here. First to react, a great first time ball. And a super header right into the corner there from that man. Delighted with that.
What a great serve. It's been his third goal of the season for Andy Todd. Played more than 300 matches in 2 spells for Dunfermline.
I say the first serious effort that Dunfermline have had on goal as well, Joe. Ends up in the back of the net.
Offside flag there, it's a free kick.
Just coming after that penalty decision.
Well, that was the point I was making. I mean, there was no great hullabaloo about the penalty not being given. I think that was partly because Celtic was so much in command and strolling, and everything was easy. But suddenly, instead of 2-0, it's 1-1. It's a new game. There's McCunny. Done away by Campbell, and the throw goes to Celtic. Well, we have a new game now.
Busy scribbling down notes. And there for the half-time team talk.
Well, it's just exactly the kind of situation Arthur Boruc did not want to find himself in, I suspect. The pass there from Telfer wasn't a bad one, but there was no runner on that far post. Well, referee Dougie McDonald has been a key man here. This penalty incident may come back to haunt.
It's a straightforward penalty for me. There's no decision to be made in this one. Coming straight on the back of that. Super ball back from Campbell and a clinical finish from Todd. How important is that decision going to be?
Well, it could make a huge difference. Man of the match competition on again this afternoon. If your decision matches that of Mark Haight at the end of the game, you could win a signed shirt from that man of the match. You can call 0901 65 65 515 from the UK. From the Republic of Ireland, call 15137124444. You text MLTM space players named 85010. Very early on to think about that right now, but to keep it in mind. This is Hartson holding off Wilson. Very strong play, trying to feed that through to Petrov, and he is offside anyway. He's not happy with John Hartson. He's showing a lot of energy there, Hartson.
Absolutely. It's something that I'm not used to seeing John Hartson doing. Running, taking players on. Just needed to get his head up there. And Petrov was well in. He's given offside there.
Flag was up for the first pass. The first pass release. That's McCunny playing it forward. There's Mark Wilson with a header. Well, we did suggest that 0-0 draws weren't too common between these two clubs, and here we go again.
Both teams used to scoring goals. Dunfermline, I said before, just trying to keep it out at the other end is the problem.
Roy Keane's very quick free kick. Telfer has time to recover. Oh, he doesn't. A little bit slack there, Paul Telfer, very unlike him. Usually the consummate professional.
Lapse in concentration there. He just took his eye off the ball twice.
With a throw. Campbell's layoff. There's Mason. Now Zambonardi. Good movement offered by Young. Young the throw. Young threatened to become a real top player. The Aberdeen team so young, became captain very early up there. And more 150 games for him before coming here 2.5 years ago. Andy Campbell trying hard to make an impression up front, but Young really has been a player with immense promise for rather a long time, Mark.
Yeah, just not fulfilled all that promise. It's unfortunate. The knocks he's taken along the way. You find yourself an established part of this Dunfermline midfield area.
Very strange header by Baldi, straight across his own 18-yard box there. It's allowed Dunfermline to remain on the attack. Good block made by Lennon there. This is Andy Todd. Young back in his wide right midfield position. Birchall helps it on, looking for Simmons, who's well forward. Wilson got the ball away there, but Young's taken down by Keane. It's been very poor defensive play that by Celtic for the last minute or so.
Yeah, very sloppy job. Yeah, ball's not been cleared at all. Wilson onto that one just before Keane, just catching his foot. An interesting position for this. Birchall left footer, right into that 6-yard box with pace.
The Celtic want to defend as far as they possibly can here. Well, they did well actually, Celtic. They kept a high line there from that set piece, which meant that there was no chance of the Dunfermline forward getting really in and top.
Should still be getting across there, Jock. Somebody should be getting in front of the goalkeeper. They know where the ball's going to be going. It's going to be delivered with pace. Somebody has to be breaking his neck to get into that space.
Of course, the player who would have done that potentially is Mark Burchell. He was.
I know he's quick, but he's not that quick.
Rain beginning to fall at East End Park, despite the evidence of sun on your screen. So a bit of wind, a bit of rain, and a bit of concern for Gordon Strachan, I suspect.
Defensively, I think he'll be a little bit worried. Sloppy over the last 5 minutes, failing to clear the ball with any sort of authority.
The header inside was by Simmons. That's cleared by Keane. First to the ball, Zambonardi. Keane recovering. That's a good pass there from young Craig Wilson. Good ball retention here by Dunfermline. It's a decent spell they're having right now. It's a good pass from Mason. It's McCunney. Closed down well by Maloney. Todd helping it on straight to the head of Lennon though. Foul by Simmons on Lennon. The referee's not too pleased with Stephen Simmons about that. Gonna have a word with a former Hearts player.
Arriving late here on Lennon, just catching him on the side of the leg there.
Unnecessary, I think it's fair to say.
Man not too pleased about that.
Back from Wilson now to Keane. Interesting to see that the Dunfermline are deploying both strikers. Whenever they lose possession, they've got to shut off fullbacks. That seems to be their instruction.
Yeah, leaving the two big centre halves on the ball.
Here's Andy Campbell, well outside here. Look, pass to Telford. You'll find Campbell in the picture straight away. There he is. A lot of thinking into this preparation by the Dunfermline. That's quite clear. Jim Leishman likes to have everyone think he's plays the clown all the time, but he is a very smart tactician. This is Roy Keane. Flag up for offside against Zurawski. Dunfermline back four holding a good line there, despite being a relatively new unit with Zambonardi coming in.
Just stepping up there off John Hartson and Zurawski, both offside there. It's good play from Dunfermline. Scott Wilson, now with his hand in the air.
Halliwell's free kick straight to the head of Wilson. Awkward for Scott Wilson. He reacted well in the end. This is Zambonardi. Campbell was offside. Hardly from that position, but the referee's satisfied. Now Mark Wilson. Again, you see Mark Burchell out there, almost on top of him when he played that pass. This is Roy Keane. Petrov well forward. That's a great pass for Zurawski. Zurawski's clear. The block was made, and there's Hartson. Dreadful defending by Dunfermline, and Hartson takes full advantage.
Yeah, poor defending there, but that man there, yet again, right place at the right time. Super build up here, ball into feet, runners up the side. Zurawski going great save. Halliwell, good save. But again, it's the reaction to the second ball. John Hartson, the quicker of the two, and that is a tap in for him.
Great work to side though, wasn't he?
Yeah, great work from Zurawski. Showed great strength. Jamie McCunney just out muscled, and that man's 17th goal of the season.
Yeah,
the goal machine.
The long ball, awkward again, and it's Scott Wilson who'll chest that back. There must have been concern there. Jamie McCunney was eased off the ball very easily there by Zurawski.
Yep, showed good upper body strength. Zurawski, good balance as well. That's where you get strength from. Well balanced. Needs upper body strength.
Good touch there by Wilson. Nowhere to go though. Well, the young man, just 19 years old, through the youth system here at Dunfermline, and a chance to make an impression in the big time. Clumsy challenge by Wilson. His arm was all over Burchell.
Yeah, just that arm on the back of Burchell.
So the Dunfermline have to come again. There's Zambonardi fighting it in. Header on by Wilson. McCunney back to Young. Offside flag up against Andy Campbell. Spotted, I think, by Roy Keane in particular. Let that ball drift over his head, knowing the flag was up. Good reaction by Hartson for that goal. Very quick indeed in responding. When Halliwell made a very good save initially.
Yeah, I mean, the position, it's a great ball in there from Petrov to get involved. Hartson, clever thinking, gets himself into an area where the area can only be delivered to.
Wilson for Maloney. Up goes Todd. There's Craig Wilson. Andy Campbell against Balde. Well, I suspect that'll be a free kick. I can't imagine it won't be. What's the referee saying? A barge in the back for a start.
And there's a shoot.
Tackle from behind.
Taking his boot off.
Boots removed. I think he's given a corner kick. You know that? He's going to say to you that Balde played the ball. It's my suspicion. See. No, he's not. He's given a free kick. He was pointing to the corner flag there, but Andy Campbell replaces his boot. That's why there's a slight delay in the part of Craig Wilson. Much better play by Boric. Should be happier with that. Halliwell well out. Well, that's a remarkable record, that. 3 clean sheets in the last 16 for Celtic, all against Rangers. And Steve McManus thumping that out. That includes, of course, today's match. Arthur Boric with that aberration for the cross, the corner kick rather, which resulted in Andy Todd's goal. Craig Wilson taking the set pieces on both flanks. Hanging that up for Andy Todd to attack. It reaches Wilson. Not offside, although it must have been a thought there. Campbell gets it back to Young. Up goes Todd again. Always a threat, all right, in that penalty box, Andy Todd.
Yeah, always a threat. He doesn't look the most agile of players, but he's always there. Always in the right position. Good ability in the air. Just hung up for him here. And gets the better again of 2 Celtic defenders.
Good challenge by McCunney on Maloney. The throw will be taken here by Mark Wilson for Celtic. That's for Hartson. Halliwell has to take that. No free kick given. Ezekiel Hartson, a major problem there for Halliwell. But since Hartson was the only Celtic player in the box, the Dunfermline defence able to deal with that. Well, down goes Petrov. The advantage has been applied, I can tell you, with Zurawski having the ball, but it was scarcely an advantage. He's going to take action, referee McDonald, against Zambonardi. He's having a stern word with him for this challenge. Lovely play by Petrov.
Getting the boot right in the side of the calf there. It's a sore one. To keep on the move with that, that will stiffen up. Just
having said that, was that an advantage, Mark, to leave him?
Not for me. I think the free kick given there is a danger area. You see the tear in the sock, and a sore spot side of the calf muscle there. Keep that one moving.
Well, advantage allowed, and Zurawski saw Petrov's injury and played the ball out. So now it will be given back, no doubt, by Dunfermline to Celtic.
Yeah, poor referee in there. A position where Petrov did take the whack.
So any advantage is negated by the decision taken by Zurawski, for which you couldn't blame him at all. So here's Arthur Boric with all the time in the world to launch a high ball towards Hartson. Simmons Baldy returns it. Solon there on Lennon, quite a flying boot. Petrov held up by Zambanardi. Lennon looking towards referee McDonald for some help there. He certainly caught a flying boot, no doubt about that. Just in the area of the hip. That's a good turn by Wilson. And Butchell is offside.
Good play there from McManus. Saw the line, took his line off Baldy. There you go, just steps up. Butchell clearly offside.
The offside calculation. Mark Butchell, a striker, likes to play on the last defender's shoulder, so has to time these runs correctly. Simmons with a header. Wilson lets that run and can use McManus behind for the throw. Dunfermline have to draw on their reserves of courage and resilience to come back again from a 1-goal deficit, as they did earlier in the match. Here's Petrov. Now Lennon. Headed down by Todd, picked up well by Maloney. This is Hartson setting up Zurawski. A shot at goal is on, and they don't come much better than that.
How clinical was that? Fantastic play, absolutely super play there from Celtic. Starting with a great interception from Sean Maloney. Super ball up, simple, great run across. Scott Wilson, I must say, Scott Wilson must get closer to Zurawski there, and that is a fantastic finish. Eye to the goalkeeper's left. A fantastic goal that is. Maintaining his form, his goal scoring.
Any question mark about the keeper there, Mark?
Not really, shot across him. I think the question mark, Scott Wilson, far too much room for that man to operate in. The run across has to be closer. Zurawski able to get his head up, but still a clinical finish from that angle.
Oh, Petros had some treatment for that calf injury. Now he comes back on. I wonder if they may take a decision shortly to withdraw him. Although remember at Inverness he played with a bad ankle for the best part of an hour, and we all felt that certainly he'd be taken off and spared, but played right to the end.
Very influential player, Petrov, even when he's playing out in a wider area. I prefer to see him through the middle. I think he's a super player. Nakamura sitting on the bench as a natural replacement on this right-hand side for him.
So Laura Keane foul, the free kick to Celtic. Zurawski getting that 12th goal of the season. It says 7th in the last 8 matches, including this one. Well, he's grimacing there, Petrov. I just wonder the wisdom of keeping him on. It was a very sore one he took there, and that challenge from Zambanardi.
Yeah, and the calf muscle as well. Kicks sometimes, more often than not, will turn into a strain if you don't watch it.
Simmons with a header. Well, I suppose Dunfermline will have now just to keep in mind the fact that they've had a little bit of joy against the Celtic defence so far. They have to keep their confidence levels up, believe they can do something.
Not concede another goal though before half-time, because if they do, will be
that
man will probably be coming on if they get to 4-1.
Hartson's layoff. This is Keane, and now Telfer. Zurawski, well tackled by Zambanardi. A lot of time here for Lennon. Keane to Baldy. Now Wilson. Hartson again so strong there. Wilson's having a lot of trouble coping with these high balls. Not short of experience, Scott Wilson either, because he made his debut in the Champions League 10 years ago. The Rangers against Ajax. Ibrox against Patrick Kluivert, among others. Been around a long time, Wilson, playing at a good level, but he's having a real torrid time against Hartson this afternoon.
Just got to weigh who he's playing up against. Can afford to get tight because John Hartson is not going to run. Beat you for pace on the backside.
Petrov's clearance. Zurawski's control. Very good under pressure there from Zambonardi. This is Wilson. Andy Campbell set off just a shade too early.
He's continually getting caught offside. Campbell needs to watch that and work a little bit harder.
Well, one of a number of players who made a very big early impression at Middlesbrough in the Premiership. A 16-year-old, 10 years ago. It hasn't quite worked for him. There's Telfer. Missing out Zurawski with a pass. A little bit of stick from Neil Lennon for that, Telfer. Well, remember when the match competition. Mark Hateley will make that decision at the end of the game, and if you agree with him, you could win a signed shirt for the man of the match. And Zurawski's just made his bid, and Hartson too, with a couple of excellent goals. Difficult times now for Dunfermline. The header from Andy Todd, equalising the opening goal from Stilian Petrov, gave them some real hope. Played well for a spell after that too, but they've gone a little bit subdued now. Lost 4-0 here early in the season in August to Celtic, Dunfermline. There's that proficient simplicity again from Keane. First time pass, bringing out Telfer. This is Petrov. Gary Mason now under pressure there from Petrov, so too is Scott Wilson. Such a high energy player, Petrov. Up and down the whole match, even with that calf injury. This is Mark Wilson. Now Lennon. On the far side is Maloney, who's in a quiet match. The standards we've come to expect so far. This is Petrov again. Nothing quiet about his match. Touched away from Hartson by Zambonardi. Well, Wilson's all right foot, playing on the left. Given away there by Zambonardi. Can't afford that, Dunfermline.
Slotted tight from Dunfermline. Need to keep hold of the ball now, make a few passes. Just on the back foot all the time at the moment. Pressure on the defence.
Space here for Telfer. Again, Campbell comes across to fulfil his duties, shutting off full-backs. He's now shuttling between Baldi and Telfer though. Very difficult task for a front man who wants to keep his energy for striking duties. Back here there by Zurawski, and Hartson trying to release Maloney through the inside left channel. This is McCunney. There's some extra work in the gym after being muscled out of that. Celtic second goal by Zurawski. So, don't forget, Spotlight Europe on Sedanta Sports 1 coming out at 4:20. Eintracht Frankfurt against Hamburg in the Bundesliga. Young's pass, here's Andy Campbell. Driving it against Wilson for the throw. He's done well, Mark Wilson.
Yeah, settled in remarkably quick. Put the ball in for the first goal as a natural, as you would have thought a natural left footer would do. Coming out of positions, look very comfortable.
Well, Boric upsetting both Petrov and Keane with that throw out after a very clean catch. That's a bad tackle by Mason. That's a sore one. Very nasty and unnecessary that from Gary Mason. What was he thinking about?
It's another sore one for Petrov. If it's said in that calf area again. Yeah, calf and foot this time. picked out for special treatment?
Well, he certainly is so highly regarded, Petrov. Longest serving player at Celtic, would you believe? He signed in 1999. Sign of the times, I think. Zurawski's not offside. Chance for number 4. Zurawski! Deadly!
What on earth were Dunfermline thinking of there? Completely asleep, not switched on, the ball's dead. Then quickly, simple ball over the top. 3 pushing up, 1 dropping off, no communication, and that is as clinical as you'll get. A man banging form. A different goal to the first one. Very cool finish down the keeper's right hand post. There you go, cool as you like. And taking his team to a 4-1 lead.
Well,
no, clearly onside.
Well, Zambernardi,
what is
really
he doing?
In trouble. He tried to play offside against the ball in flight. Criminal for a defender. And had he continued the run, he could have had a chance of matching Zurawski and making a challenge. But surely it must be too far away now for the Dunfermline to have any real hopes of doing anything except avoiding humiliation here. Petrov still busy and lively in the middle of the field. Lennon's pulled out to the right this time to accommodate Petrov's movement inside. Chase on here for Zurawski. Oh, it's been a torrid afternoon for Scott Wilson. Confidence not at its height, I suspect. Here's Andy Campbell. Back with McCunny.
Dunfermline at the moment completely in tatters. The shape of the team is completely gone at the moment. They just need to get themselves back in order, because this could be an absolute trouncing.
Yeah, the defenders have not carried out their duties efficiently, there's no doubt about that. Right from the very start, when Mason lost Petrov for the first goal, then McCunny was shrugged aside for the second. For the third too, Scott Wilson not tight enough on Zurawski. For the fourth there, Zambernardi playing offside against the ball. Jim Leishman may have a little less hair before the game's out. Long chase here for Campbell. Mike Manus completely in charge of the situation. This is Mark Wilson. Off goes Zurawski again. Wilson matching him. Trying to get much tighter this time. Back with Maloney. And Wilson. Celtic have the luxury of having all the patience in the world now. Totally dominant. Lennon to Keane. Space in the far side for Mark Wilson. Maloney stepping inside McCunny. That's excellent play. Now there was a good advantage to play.
Referee,
I think the referee's apologising in fairness to him. I think he now realises that.
I say whistle happy refereeing, but God must let the play go on there. Celtic in a superb attacking position.
Well, I think that might have been carry over from the earlier situation where he allowed play to continue after a bad tackle, and Petrov and Zurawski turned the ball out to allow treatment. And this time he was much quicker with the whistle, Dougie McDonald. And I think knew instantly he'd got that wrong. Certainly seemed to apologise to the players. Offside against Andy Campbell. Frustration all the way for the Englishman. Here's Maloney. Well, Celtic's biggest victory on their travels this season, 5-0 at Livingston. There's now a possibility, I suspect, that they could improve on that this afternoon, unless Dunfermline can do something pretty impressive. We're going to have one additional minute at the end of the first half. Treatment there to Petrov, I suspect. Dunfermline are chasing shadows. The kind of situation where some irascible player is liable to make a rash tackle.
Yeah, they're getting absolutely torn apart in the midfield area. Dunfermline's midfield is sort of disintegrated. It's actually blending itself into the back four most of the time. Needed far too much time. Lennon, Petrov, Keane, guys that will hurt you on the ball if given time.
Celtic in cruise control mode.
It's a stroll in the park at the moment.
And it's all being contributed to by serious individual frailty in that Dunfermline defence. This is Simmons. Well done by young Wilson there. Good challenge he made in Maloney. Keane makes time for himself and for Telfer. This is Lennon. Now Maloney. Wilson is free over on the left. Nowhere to go because Mason's attentions were good enough there on Maloney. Baldy now to Lennon. Celtic appear to be running down the clock until half time now. Zarafsky's made a run too early, he's offside. Well, I think Dunfermline will be content to lose nothing else before half time, although we can expect somebody who are roasting in the dressing room. Celtic, it'll be a leisurely cup of tea, I think, and
yeah, a leisurely cup of tea.
More of the same for the second half.
Check and see if everybody's all right. The only doubt would be Petrov. With a kick in the calf muscle.
It's given handball there. It was driven against Balde, who lifted an arm, and that's why it's been given as a free kick. It's a late opportunity here. Well, that's the problem, lifting your arm. Hardly be called deliberate, you would say, but this is a very good opportunity here for Dunfermline. It would make some difference to their half-time pep talk if they could snatch a goal. Now they'll have to be very quick about it because we're now past the 1 minute mark. We're into the second minute of stoppage time, and the referee, I think, will be very brave to halt the game before this is taken.
Mark Birchall, your man here.
Or Darren Young. There's the answer. Well, no joy there. Birchall swerving that over the top corner, and it's the last action of a first half, eventually dominated completely by Celtic. Zurawski getting two excellent goals, John Hartson getting one fine finish, but it all was started by Stilian Petrov's goal in 3 minutes at the near post. Andy Todd's header was some consolation when he equalised for Dunfermline, but just look at the quality of these goals. There's Petrov, unmarked, no one matched his run to score the first. Then Boric had that aberration, allowing Campbell to set up Andy Todd for the equaliser. Looked to be a contest then, all right, but then Zurawski got the better there than McCunney, allowing Hartson to make it 2-1. And then some more poor defending here. Zurawski given so much space by Scott Wilson. He drilled home number 3. And an abortive attempt to play offside against Zurawski resulted in number 4. It's Celtic who are cruising at this stage. There'll be some excellent performances all round. Dunfermline looked ragged in the extreme at half time. It's Dunfermline 1, Celtic 4.